Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce. Joyce, we're back. We haven't done this in it feels like over a week because we've been so busy.
Well, it has been over a week.
Wow, time flies. I've been so excited to do this with you and talk to you about the Emmys. Who can wait?
But we're not doing Bright Star Adventure Park today.
No, we're not doing a Succession today, though. Remains the best show. Just a never ending source of fun, including this, which I got as a Christmas gift this year, Joyce. And finally wearing.
Wow, who knows you so well?
My wife does. That's it. Who else am I going to get presents from? Nobody. Maybe my parents. I don't even think they would give me presents, honestly.
Anything. They give me like money, maybe.
Yeah, money is what I get to, right? Yeah, at a certain point, you just get old enough and they're just like, here's a check for whatever.
Yeah, or then like from like my birthday, like we'll probably go out to dinner and like
yeah. Something like that. I don't need presents. You know what? I got a ton of stuff. I don't need any more presents.
It's true.
Too much stuff. But just we're not talking. Yeah, we're not talking about Succession. We are talking about the limited series category. I've been so excited to do this because I have a new favorite show, Conversations with Friends.
Share with the class. Yeah.
Yes, Conversations with Friends, aka bad texts, as you like to call it. Because a lot of bad texting happens.
That's only because in the unfinished screeners there were no texts,
which is a
huge part of the show.
You told me that, and I was blown away because so much of the show is people texting and reading their texts. The limited series Conversation with Friends, Joyce, is on Hulu. So here you'll know I loved it because I had to interview most of the cast. So I'm already in the tank. And
you're predicting all of them, right?
Almost. I almost put Jemima Kirk in too, honestly, in supporting. But no, I was very fond of it. It's the same crew that people did Normal People, which is a show I did not watch. So I came into this totally blind on the Sally Rooney cinematic universe and was very impressed. I enjoyed it very much. I'll tell you why. Here's one of the things I liked about it. 12 episodes. And when I saw that, I immediately was like, oh no. And then they're 30-minute episodes. I was like, oh yes, 30-minute drama, Joyce. That's like really, that's a sweet spot right now. Comedies are
anything 30 minutes, really.
Yeah, and the comedies now are longer than 30 minutes. But no, so I love bad texts, aka Conversations with Friends. But I don't have it in for the limited series. The series itself, I do not have in. And I want to talk to you about this because I cannot figure out what to do with this category. I feel like
no one can.
Well, here's what I think. I think there's like 4 absolute not locks, right? Dopesick, White Lotus, Maid, and The Dropout. I still have The Dropout winning, which is maybe foolhardy, but I think it's gonna win. But those are the 4 I have, and then after that, I have no idea. I threw The Staircase in, and I threw Station 11 in, but at this point, it's more of a hope diction on Station 11 because I just feel like it is not remaining in the conversation. So I don't know, but that means I left out Under the Banner of Heaven, the beloved show First Lady, Gaslit, Pam and Tommy, Inventing Anna. I could just keep going, but I don't know. Joyce, what do you have here? Explain to me. I don't know what to do with this. So help me out.
I mean, I don't know what to do with it. It could be just 5 again. So I haven't changed any or moved anything. So I have Under the Banner of Heaven, Dopesick, White Lotus, Maid, and The Staircase, and I have to drop out in 6. So
wow. So I don't even have Under the Banner of Heaven in, and you have it winning.
I put that in there like 2 months ago when I watched the screeners, and I've since finished the show because they sent the last 2 episodes.
So do you think,
I don't know. Like I don't think it's like actually winning. Like I'm not like, oh, this is like a complete lock, but I don't know what I would put in its place. So it's like a placeholder, really. Like, when am I gonna put in there instead of that right now?
I don't know. I don't even have it getting nominated though, because I guess I just keep going with these and I'm trying to figure out like we've been saying, there's too much. It's mass TV. I love that you coined that. I think that is like the best description of this time.
Trademark me. Yeah.
Yeah. All credit to Joyce for mass TV. That's what this is. There's just so much.
Yeah.
There's too much.
Like
and I don't know
what. We watch completely different shows because you have not finished Under the Banner of Heaven.
No. And
I have not started conversations.
Yeah.
Friends,
I haven't finished. I haven't watched Staircase. I haven't even had a chance to check it out.
I just seen the unfinished text and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here.
And so I'm like, I don't know what people are watching and then how it will rate, right? Like all these shows are ostensibly good. I don't think there's like really a lemon here. It's not like I think Under the Banner of Heaven is bad. From what I've seen, it was
No,
very
and
good.
like, but nothing has either like become like a huge juggernaut either, like
Right.
the Queen's Gambit, you know, like I think that's what everyone was waiting for, especially in the spring. And there's hasn't really been anything like that, like not even a Mayor of Easttown. And yeah, Under the Banner of Heaven, I really like a lot, and it's really well made. The last two episodes, long. They don't have a single episode under an hour, so most of them are like 63, 64 minutes.
Right.
The finale, Gird Your Loins, an hour and 29 minutes.
So we'll talk about this actually later, because I'm gonna filibuster about Stranger Things. But I will say I used to be anti long episodes. Now I'm like way in, except when they're too slow. And I wonder if Under the Banner of Heaven is too slow. So
it's slow, but like I like it. It's not, it's slow paced, but I feel like I'm getting a lot out of it. The episodes can definitely use an edit. Like I would like if they shaved off like 5 to 10 minutes of each of them. But I like the pacing of it, and I feel like I'm always getting a lot out of it. Like I don't like when I finish an episode, I don't feel like that was like a waste of my time.
Right.
You know, like I wish maybe it was shorter. I also wish the finale was short, even though like it's a lot happens in it, and it's like a movie. It's like they saw Inventing Anna's runtimes and was like, hold my beer. And then Stranger Things saw their runtimes and was like, wait, hold my beer. But you know, FX, they've always done this, even though it's like an epidemic now with long episode runtimes. But you know, Sons of Anarchy, like every episode was over an hour on linear FX.
Crazy times.
So they're just now like everything's on streaming, so they're abusing this because there's no ads and you know whatever. But yeah, it's a good show. And Andrew Garfield, he has his a breakdown scene in the 6th episode, which is this week, I think, right? May 26th.
Yeah.
I'm like completely lost on my airtime. Okay. Yeah. So, but I think I said like maybe like months ago when I first watched it that I don't know if I was like waiting to see the whole show before predicting him to win, and I don't know about predicting to win.
You don't think you'd pick Andrew to win?
Yeah, like I think he's really good, but I think there's something, I don't know. I think if he wins, it'll be more about like his year, more so than like the performance or anything, even though he's really good in the show.
He was on the Time 100 list, Joyce, that came out this week.
Yes, a lot of Emmy contenders on that list.
Yeah, good job out of the publicists there to get them on that list. But I would say Andrew Garfield his little tribute was written by Martin Scorsese. It looked like Marty just took a break from Under the Killers of the Flower Moon and jotted it down on like an index card because it was very short, maybe like 150 words.
You know, it's his assistant, you know. Yeah.
But no, I don't even know. I don't think it was his assistant. I think it was really Marty. And he was like, you know, me and Marty, I could call him that because we're pals. And he was like, oh, greatest actor of his generation, basically. And I was like reading that. And again, beyond the fact that Will Smith obviously tainted his best actor win, but boy, that is not going to age well in a bunch of different ways. We should have given Andrew Garfield an Oscar this year. That was my takeaway from reading all this. I was just like, that win is not going to age well, the Will Smith win, beyond beyond the extenuating circumstances. Not that we need to talk about the Will Smith thing.
That was just his time. And as I've said, if you do live voting on the Oscars, that result will be different.
Live voting would be great. So I guess the reason I'm saying is I don't think, even with that said, I don't think Andrew Garfield is a lock to win an Emmy, even though I think there is like
I would maybe even like move him to 3rd. I have him in 2nd.
I want to look at that when we get over there, but I want to just stick on this. So this weekend, I was talking to real people, my pals who are not in the industry. One of the shows they talked about, and this is what I mean by saying like, I don't know what people are actually watching, was We Crashed. People really,
your fave. Yeah.
It is my fave, but also people really watched it. And I think even though Apple TV has a smaller footprint than like the Netflixes and the HBO Maxes of the world, I do wonder if the lure of having massive movie stars on a TV series is going to help regular people want to watch these shows. And that's why I was like, I'm now like, I don't have either of these shows in, but We Crashed in 1883, which is a Yellowstone prequel. is it possible that those get in because of their broad popularity and like the idea that people are paying attention to them more so than like,
I've thought about putting 1883 in because this category is like so chaotic, and that's kind of like that and Yellowstone are like the silent majority, really, because I their core base is not online, unlike a lot of these other shows whose like fan base is like very online.
Correct. That's I'm actually putting them in. I'm putting both We Crash and 1883 and I'm knocking
What
out
are you
the stair.
dropping?
I'm dropping Staircase in Station 11. My favorite Station 11. I just think that these are too, I just wonder if they're too niche. And I feel like HBO Max and HBO have so many contenders that I think it's hard to maybe even break through.
Hulu has so many.
Hulu does have so many too. I don't know, but like this is like a really chaotic category. But I just kept going back to that because I was like, in the end, similar to like a Squid Game type thing, is like 1883 the Squid Game of this category, right? Where it just is like, or the Yellowstone, like you said, of this cat, where it just is like it is a popular thing that a lot of people watched. They moved it into the limited series category from drama, probably specifically because it's a limited series, but also to help like kind of get it in, and it's one of the shows that I would say has been doing the work, right? Like that's the other thing. Like I feel like the 1883 people are all over the place.
I mean, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, man.
And Isabel, is it Isabel May, right?
Yeah, Isabel May, yeah.
So, those
Sam Elliott, of course.
Obviously, Jane Campion's favorite actor, Sam Elliott. So
yeah,
I do think I could see, and I think We Crash similarly has been all over I mean, I talked to Jared Leto, Joyce, my best friend.
I know, you got 2 Jareds in 6 months.
Amazing. He loves it. So,
and also, Anne Hathaway having a moment right now in Cannes with Armageddon Time with our other fave, Jeremy Strong. And the icon, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. So, like, these are movie stars. Like, no offense to anybody in these other shows. Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway are like A-list movie stars on a TV show. And I think that's going to get people to watch it.
We Crashed.
And they're also great. So, like, that actually, so I'm like, I think in a situation like this where there's like literally, 30, 40 of shows that are like all solid. Like these are all like, we didn't even mention, like we said, like The Thing About Pam, right? Or like, I don't even know, Gaslit, Roar, Girl from Plainville.
There's Moon Knight, We Own the City.
Moon Knight.
But they don't like David Simon,
no.
Sadly. Impeachment, remember Impeachment?
Candy was another one with like that had a lot of buzz. I just feel like there's so many of these shows, but I'm like, if you're sitting there as a Television Academy member and like, what am I going to watch? Boy, there's so many things. A show with Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway is going to stand out. It's like, oh, they're major movie stars. And then you watch one episode and you're immediately hooked because that first episode of We Crashed is so engaging and fun and they're really going for it. And I think that could help. And then 1883, like you said, is definitely the silent majority show.
Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? The Taylor Sheridan universe has expanded the cast, Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford, in another Yellowstone.
I gotta say, Joyce, I'm not the most how do we say this? I'm not super into the Taylor Sheridan universe. It's not something I've watched.
I like Hell or High Water. So
fine, totally fine. I like Sicario. Did you write the first Sicario?
Yeah, right.
So Sicario is good. But no, I know obviously like my parents love Yellowstone, like people I know watch it. It's a good show. And I would say like when I saw Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford are cast in a 1932 set Boardwalk Empire style Yellowstone prequel again, I was like, I am in. I will watch that. That sounds really good. And then there's another in his extended universe, I think it's like the Tulsa King or something with Sylvester Stallone as a
he's just like all over Paramount Plus because he also has like Mayor of Kingstown.
Love it. Renner. So I'm like way in, but I'm way in on that. You want to do? Let's go to. So I put those up. So my list now is, since I just totally in chaos magic, have The Dropout, Dopesick, Made, White Lotus, We Crashed in 1883. That's what I'm sticking with for now.
I don't know. I don't know what I would put in first. Should I just like keep Under the Banner of Heaven?
I mean, why not? I don't really know what the favorite is.
I need the other thing. I have to put something in first.
I guess what would it take to say there's a favorite here? Like when we see the nominations, whatever has the most nominations maybe here ends up being like the favorite by default.
Yeah. Because it's like even like the 2021 shows here, none of them dominated the Winter Awards because that was like Mayor of Easttown,
Right. That's the thing. Like
and then they got like snubs in various places too. So
Right. Like Dopesick and Maid are seemingly like the leftover favorites, but neither one of them
Yeah,
feel
but
like
like Dopesick is like the Michael Keaton show,
right.
like as in wins, you know.
Like I don't imagine either one of those shows getting like 13 nominations.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're also yeah, they're too modern, I guess, for
Right.
like crafts stuff.
That's why like
I mean
they could, but
yeah.
That's why I feel like 1883 maybe could, right? Because it's gonna have like a lot of tech support as well. I don't know. We'll see. So Joyce, for do you want to go to actor or actress next?
Let's go to TV movie quickly because we haven't talked about this in like 7 years, but we both have added something.
So I haven't even watched it yet, but I added it. You have watched it and loved it.
I've watched it twice.
Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. I cannot wait to watch it. So the reason I haven't watched it is because we've been to tease. We've been watching Stranger Things again. We already watched the first 7 episodes, and then we're watching it again. So that's been like taking up a lot of our time. Where do you find the time? And they're very long episodes, but I am super psyched to watch Chip 'n Dale.
Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is like 90 minutes. That's shorter than like what half the Stranger Things episodes.
Yes. And also so from the Lonely Island guys, which are great stuff. Love Pop Star, love Hot Rod, great movies.
Mm-hmm. But it's amazing. This is like our like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So John Mulaney is Chip, Andy Samberg is Dale. And it's like a really fun like meta like satire, a lot of great sight gags, so you need to pause to really take them all in.
And I guess I gotta not look at my phone.
Yes, this is not a laundry movie. No, you need to pay attention, but like you will, because it's really funny and engaging. And then our fave J.K. Simmons also has a voice part in this. Yeah,
nice. Night Sky's own J.K. Really Simmons, Joyce. Mm-hmm. Night Sky's own J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he had 2 projects released on May 20th last week.
Yeah,
and no shade to Night Sky, which I enjoyed. I watched the whole thing, and I think you have as well.
Yeah,
but this was
a solid show.
Yeah, this is his better May 20th performance as Captain Putty.
It's awesome. Here's what I have for this category: The Survivor. You'll be shocked to know I interviewed everyone from this show as well, or movie, including Barry Levinson and Billy Magnuson and the star Ben Foster. I have that. I have Fallout, which I have not watched, but I actually seemed like something I would enjoy and had like good buzz. Seemed. I think Jenny Ortega is a up and coming talent who I've enjoyed in other things. I have Ray Donovan, the movie, for all the Ray Donovan fans out there, Chip 'n Dale, and then Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. Those are my 5 in this category.
So instead of Ray Donovan, I have Help, the Jodie Comer.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't know much about Help.
She won the BAFTA for it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm all in on Chip 'n Dale here. So
do you think it'll win?
It should win. They should put this category back on the main show and present it last. Give it to Chip 'n Dale.
All right, Joyce. Let's go to limited series and movie actress, because that one's always fun. I've got the top 3 here, slightly different order. Our odds are Margaret Qualley for Maid, Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout, and Jessica Chastain for Scene from a Marriage. I have Amanda Seyfried winning, but I have those 3, and then I go completely chaos. I have Julie Garner for Inventing Anna still. I have Anne Hathaway for We Crashed. Probably the best Anne Hathaway performance since The Intern, I would argue.
Yes, you know what was on Saturday? The Intern on TNT. I watched the whole thing, obviously.
Great movie. Anne Hathaway, love Anne Hathaway. She rules in We Crashed. And then my dear friend Allison Oliver from Conversations with Friends, who I interviewed and was an absolute blast. And I actually think this, even with my complete hackery aside, she's really good on the show. It's like an incredible performance. I don't know if she'll get in because it's like she's a first-time actor basically, and the show is very small and on Hulu, even though they did a great promotional push for it. Who knows? But she's like remarkably good on it. I was really impressed with her, so I put her in as my like long shot Hope Diction. That means I left off all the First Lady ladies: Claire Foy, Lily James, Julia Roberts. I don't know. So this is another loaded category, obviously.
It's loaded, but also wide open because I
Yeah.
only feel good about Margaret and Amanda.
Not even Jessica.
I mean, like I should probably put her in, but I don't have her in, like, because I can see her getting snubbed.
I kind of see her getting. I have her in because I think it's such chaos that her name will net out. Like that's also why I have like Anne Hathaway in, and like we were saying before, like she's Jessica Chastain's a movie, like a legitimate movie star. Obviously,
she just won an
Oscar.
So.
I think that's going to just get her in, even if Scenes from a Marriage came out 100 years ago and is not the type of show that people will be super enthusiastic about based on its content, right? It's not like a show you're like, man, you know what you got to watch? It's so exciting. Scenes from a Marriage. We Crashed, you can maybe do that.
Very upbeat show.
Yeah, We Crashed is like, oh man, Anne Hathaway dresses like a Navi from Avatar. You got to check that out. Scenes from a Marriage is not one you're going to be texting your buddies about, being like, hey.
No, like I can totally see her getting in just from like inertia, right?
Yeah.
No
offense, I don't have it's a good performance, but
because my 4 slots, the other 4 slots, if there are 6, I have Julia Garner. I do have Anne. I have Claire Foy. I don't think she's getting in, but I love a 3-episode series. Very British Scandal. And I put in Julia Roberts just to support her.
I mean, that was another show. They did a great amount of press with Julia. She was all over the place and then has gotten really good. I haven't really seen a lot of people say negative things about it. I think Gaslit has been pretty well received, but I just don't know how many people are watching. You know what I mean? It's like she could get in because she's
like stars. We know that.
Right. She could get in because she's Julia Roberts. Like
she can get in for Homecoming, a 30-minute drama.
Right. So I don't know, but I don't know. You don't have any of the first ladies either.
No, and like, you know, we've talked about this. Like the only one I would nominate is Michelle Pfeiffer, who's the MVP of that show. But yeah, I dropped her a while ago, and I mean, I hope she gets in because it's a really great performance. But that it feels like that show just went from bad buzz, like on premiere day over Viola Davis's lips, and then just no buzz.
Yeah. It's not really, it didn't really break through. I would say here's my brief take on Alison Oliver. I'll just to stump back to this. She has first of all, in real life, she's incredible. Like having interviewed me, I interviewed her, Joyce, and she's very engaging.
Did you interview her? I'm not clear on that.
Yeah, no, I did. And she's incredibly different from. She's not like the character, which I don't think people would know because, like you said, she's like this is like literally her first thing on camera. But I think if she does get put out there a lot and people are checking out the show and then versus her like press appearances, she's a lot different than the character, which I think is interesting or like noteworthy. And then so much of because it's bad texts, so much of the show is internalized with, you know, having to text or, you know, she's like almost like a sphinx half the time. You kind of really got to read her face and like what she's thinking as a character. And I think she just does an incredible job of like conveying a lot of emotion. She's great at a lot of the show is like her getting text messages that are either really bad, hence bad texts, or like very inscrutable. And she has to like read them and be like, oh crap, like that kind of, and I just think it's like really like very modern. It's a very modern form of acting. I feel like we all respond, read things and have to respond.
To pull the curtain back on acting and visual effects, when they do these things like reading text messages, they're not looking at anything.
Correct.
Like they add that in post, obviously.
So it's like pretty
screeners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is she reading?
So she's reading like when she texts her boyfriend, or it's a show about an affair. So she's having an affair with a character played by Joe Alwyn, and he texts her, okay, period, talk to you later, period, or whatever. And it's all like very pointedly not what you want as a response.
The period. You don't put the period.
Never put punctuation in a text. That's just like full cringe. And she has to like respond to that and have her face melt without like really showing it. I don't know. I thought it was really impressive. I don't know if she'll get nominated. She's 100 to 1 on her odds. She's just completely, I mean, buried here. And I don't think.
I mean, if you recall, normal people, Paul Mescal got in, but not Daisy Edgar Jones.
Right. And so that's the other thing, is that Daisy Edgar Jones seemingly had more buzz, because I think normal people had more buzz than Conversation with Friends, and Daisy Edgar Jones didn't get in. And so like that's another reason why you would say Alison Oliver is certainly not going to get in, but I'm going to stick with her. Just Also, because like we said, the category is so chaotic. I don't know. I could make a case for like 20 of these actors, actresses.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
I think,
like, why not?
Did we talk about this here or like in our column? I don't remember, but remember 2 years ago, this category, when Daisy got snubbed, they nominated Octavia Spencer for Self-Made, a movie I don't think anyone saw.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just kind of like, we like Octavia Spencer.
Right.
And it was on Netflix. So I mean, yeah, some people saw it because it was on Netflix, but yeah. I don't think anyone was predicting her.
No. And so that could happen here. I mean, would not surprise me at all to see like, I don't even know, Jessica Biel getting in, or, you know, whatever. Isabel May for 1883, beloved 1883. Why not? I don't have her in, but I could. Do you want to do actor, Joyce?
Yeah, sure. Our favorite Batman.
So I have Michael Keaton, Andrew Garfield. I have Ben Foster, Oscar Isaac, Colin Firth, and then I have the one and only Jared Leto. So I have the top 5 in the odds, and then Jared in 6th, basically.
Did you have Jared before you talked to him?
I did, actually. I had him in from the jump. It's just, he's so awesome on it. It's such a fun performance. I know people are tired of Jared Leto, but man, he's so fun.
People are expecting him to be like completely over the top, like Gucci style, and he's really not.
He's not. No, it's really fun. And the thing I liked about it, and when I interviewed him, I meant it's actually, he's actually funny. It's a funny performance. Like, it's not like, it's just, he's very light on his feet. I think it's a different kind of comedy, even than the House of Gucci comedy, which is kind of like clown. Like Paolo is like an actual, like a human clown in the movie. And in We Crashed, it's not. It's a little more nuanced comedy. And I think it's like a bit of rom-com-ish sometimes, and just a bit of like workplace comedy. And he does it really well. And it's something you would maybe not expect from Jared Leto. Again, who knows what people are watching.
Here's the thing. He's a good actor.
Yes, he is.
He is. Go back 20 years. Go watch Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, no, he rules.
Go watch American Psycho. I want his business card. But yeah, I think it's in recent years that's been clouded,
right,
by other things, and including his own performances.
Yes. If he was never in Suicide Squad, I think we wouldn't be as like irate about Jared
Yes,
Leto.
probably. Yes. Or like his off-screen antics on set.
Yes.
Yes.
Who do you have here, Joyce? Do you still have Michael Keaton winning?
I still have Michael. I have Andrew in second, but I'm considering moving Colin above him.
Talk to me about the staircase.
The staircase.
Yeah.
Do you know about the real life case? Yes. Did you watch the doc?
Yes. And I've read a lot about it. And I know the show is a little contentious, Joyce, because some of the choices they made, the documentary filmmakers have been pretty unhappy with, I would say.
It's kind of like LOL to me, because like they're like the doc filmmakers are part of the scripted show.
Yes.
And they consulted with them before, but it's like, I'm like, whatever. It's I don't think it's like a really like negative portrayal of them or anything, but I think like Colin I think has the most to do out of like the three of them, like Michael Keaton and Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
And he's convicted of killing his wife, played by Toni Collette, who is going lead, even though she's like totally supporting, but what a flex for Toni Collette. And he just has more to do, I think. And it's kind of, I guess, maybe a subversive term for him, because you don't really think of like Colin Firth as being like possibly a murderer, and the show, I don't think it's like, I think it's a good companion show to the docuseries, but some of the choices are kind of like, like the 5th episode last week was like all about Julia Binoche's character, the editor, with whom Michael Peterson, Colin Firth's character, in real life, they had a relationship as she was like working on the documentary. It was like all about her, and I don't know if we needed like a complete episode like about her. So it's kind of like that. But like this week, this Thursday, they do the owl theory. Do you know about the owl theory?
Yes.
Yeah, the owl theory states that Toni Collette's character Kathleen was attacked by an owl, and then she just like collapsed and hit her head and bled out.
Correct.
So they actually reenact that in the show.
Oh wow, nice.
Amazing. Yeah. So you have that to look forward to. But yeah, I think Colin could win.
Well, again, the Jared corollary of he's a giant movie star, Colin Firth.
Yes, yeah,
Oscar winner.
yeah. And if like Dopesick is not as strong, even though I think we all like love Michael Keaton and like his speeches this past winter were just incredible. Like I do think he's beatable, but like I still have him in first. Because I also would love for him to like win something major as well. Because like Colin has an Oscar.
Right.
But yeah, I think like those are the top three. And then I have Oscar. I have my guy Paul Bettany.
Wow.
And I know I still have both very British Scandal people. I'll probably drop them eventually, but I'm gonna keep them for now. And I have Sebastian Stan.
Nice. That show not a top of mind, I would say.
No, but you know, like he and Lily James are still out there. He was just on Colbert like 2 days ago or last.
He's got a two for Hulu because Fresh is a movie, TV.
Yeah, Fresh
movie,
also with Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yes, a TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
That great TV movie, Fresh.
Yes, so he could be double nominated. I don't think he will be.
I don't think he will be, but
he could be.
Joyce, let's do a supporting actress. So this one is slightly easier, maybe, but not really. Again, a total mess. I have Jennifer Coolidge, seemingly everybody has at the top. I have her there. I've got Andie MacDowell for Maid and Caitlin Dever for Dopesick. And then I go, again, full chaos. I have Florence Pugh for Hawkeye. Not going to let that one go. I'm going to die on that hill. I have Faith Hill, speaking of dying on a hill, for 1883. And then I have Juno Temple for The Offer. My beloved Offer. Here's the reasoning for that one. She's actually quite good on the show. And I think The Offer is another one of those shows that people have watched, especially in the industry, because it's about Hollywood. And I think people have been interested in it. And whether or not they really love the show, it's at least very entertaining and engaging. And she is also incredibly good. And I think has the halo effect of having Ted Lasso as well. So she could get like a Julia Garner style double nomination, even though the second thing is more populist and frothy than the first thing, I would say. So that's a 6 I
have. Okay. I mean, I have seen The Offer.
She's fun. The show's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun show.
Just you know, if you want a lot of allegiance to The Godfather, I don't know if you would watch this for that, but yeah, it's entertaining. Highly entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Especially the finale that takes place at the Oscars.
It reminds me of it reminds me of Entourage, and both good and bad, but it is very much like Vince got the movie, you know, that kind of thing. Like, oh, how are they going to get out of this one? And then, oh man, they got out of it and they made The Godfather. It's a lot of that, but it's super
and they
fun.
won the Oscar.
Yeah, like, man, will they get it? Will it come out? Yes, it will. And it's going to win the Oscar, right? Yeah, no, they're going to make the movie. And then we're going to make The Longest Yard and have it be a great movie too. I like the show. So no, but I have Juno Temple getting in because I think she's, like I said, like, I think, you know, an easy double nominee in a category here with a lot of people who, I don't know who would get in. Like, I had Laurie Metcalf in for The Dropout, but I'm just not convinced she's in it enough. She's got like 1 or 2 scenes.
Listen, we'll get Laurie her nomination for Hacks.
That was the other thing. I was like, she has a better chance of getting guest actress support comedy nominee for the Hacks because she's so funny. Weed on Hacks.
Like, that would be just an easy guest nom.
Yeah.
For her.
When Pete Wentz gives you a nickname, it sticks. So
yeah. And then, you know, she eats at Wendy's, which my favorite fast food restaurant. So
it's an unimpeachable and good fast food restaurant. A lot of, like, in our odds, Connie Britton is here. Pretty highly rated. Alexandra Daddario, obviously in contention. You said Toni Collette's going lead, Joyce.
Yeah, she hasn't been moved yet.
So she would not be here. Ellen Burstyn for First Lady.
Which she's still hanging in there because people don't update.
Right. I just don't, like, none of these are like really standing out to me. I don't know. I don't know where else to go. It does feel like can White Lotus get like multiple acting nominations here?
I at one point had 3 White Lotus ladies in there, and I think I have 2, but with like Tony going lead now, maybe I'll just put Alexandra back in, because I have Jennifer and Connie.
So it could be like a default. I mean, like they're all excellent on the show. They were really fun. And I actually thought my personal preference would have been like Connie and Alexandra ahead of Jennifer Coolidge. I think they were just better. They had better material.
I prefer Alexandra out of the 3 of them.
And so like I would definitely have no problem with them getting in, but I'm just like, does the show support 3 actresses here? And also
I don't know.
And like it does feel like Jennifer Coolidge is the one that everybody is focused on. So like she seemingly would be like the obvious choice, but maybe people are just like so remain excited about White Lotus. That's the other thing. It was on last summer. How much do people even remember it, or beyond Jennifer Coolidge? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, and do you think she could be like the Catherine Hahn of this year, just this like kind of beloved comedic actress who gets this like juicy part on a limited series, and everyone thinks she's gonna win, and then she doesn't?
But who would she lose to? That's the problem. Like obviously, like Catherine Hahn lost to Julianne Nicholson for a very, very popular show. There's no mayor in here, so like who would win?
Yeah, and like Julianne also had a super baity final episode.
Right. So I don't know who would be the option here. I mean, like Caitlin Dever has like a really baity performance, I think, for Dopesick, but she's not as well known, and I don't know. The show is not mayor, so I don't know if she would win.
Yeah. It would have been cool if Tony were still in this category, because we could have the Unbelievable reunion with her and Caitlin. I actually think if like Tony had stayed in here, she maybe could win.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I had her in. I mean, obviously.
I know. I mean, they could also be kind of strategically moving her to lead to make room for more supporting actresses from the staircase.
Maybe.
So
Parker Posey, I've seen a lot of good buzz on, and
yeah, like she's entertaining, but I think it's just because it's kind of like scene stealy, and is she even in the last 3 episodes? I don't remember, but there's a lot of Juliette Binoche in the last couple. I actually like Sophie Turner a lot on the show. She's one of their daughters. Yeah, so I think they could just be making room for other staircase ladies.
Yeah.
I have Andy McDowell for Maid. And I too still have Florence, because I don't know what else.
So it might seem silly, but she's great on, I mean, it's just like awesome. She's so much fun on Hawkeye. It's a great performance, and I love her in the show. So
I know I just rewatched the finale over the weekend, and like the elevator scene with her and Haley Steinfeld,
it's great, and she actually elevates the show, I feel like, and she's like, it's just a really great performance, and Florence Pugh's a legitimate actor, obviously, like an Oscar nominee, so it's not like a total like Hail Mary to expect that she would get nominated. I don't know. I'm gonna keep her on. I'll just keep her on until she doesn't get nominated, Joyce. I'm not changing it.
I mean, there's like a lot of other huge names. Like there's Edie Falco for Impeachment, and remember she got in for that like Law and Order Menendez show that no one watched. That's
true.
So she could do it again, because this category is so open. Yeah, there's Faith. Yeah, Faith.
I have faith in.
There's Chloe Sevigny, girl from Plainview.
I worry that girl from Plainview just has gotten, there's too many Hulu shows in that data.
Yeah, Hulu has a lot going on.
Yeah, so I worry about that one.
Yeah.
So for supporting actor, Joyce, I got Matthew Good #1 with a bullet for The Offer. Not even in the top 7 for our odds. So I'm really carrying the load there. But I love him as Robert Evans. It's a hilarious performance. And again, I do think people who watch the show are going to be entertained by it and really like him. So I have him. I have Murray Bartlett, Naveen Andrews, Peter Sarsgaard for Dopesick, Seth Rogen for Pam and Tommy. And then just because we're chatting, my good pal Joe Alwyn for Conversations with Friends, I threw in. Taylor Swift's significant other, who I also interviewed, Joyce. So, you know, it's a...
I know you did. So... She has an Emmy, so are you saying he'll be halfway to an EGOT?
He could, because he won a Grammy. I asked him where he keeps his Grammy, and I'll tell you what.
What did he say?
He was, I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's on the piano, period. And I was like, bad text right there.
Just like the text, yeah, period.
I was like, but he was cut it off. I was like, all right, we're wrapping it up.
Okay. I don't want to talk about this. No.
Nope. I feel bad because obviously everybody like comes at him with like Taylor Swift stuff, but I was like, we're Gold Derby, Joyce. I don't know if you know this, and we like awards. So I was like, where do you, I was like, if I had a Grammy, I would wonder where I would put it. And he said on his piano, and I was like, that's a great spot for a music award.
Because isn't that like how they started writing all her songs on?
Yeah, he produced
Evermore.
like 6 of the songs, and he wrote like, you know,
under an alias.
Yeah, good for him. He's very good on the show. Again, I feel like it's another tricky part because so much of the character is like internalized, and I was really won over by him. I not really. The only thing I had really seen him in before this show was obviously Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, which I saw once at New York Film Festival and fell asleep during and did not like it. Just a little bit of a disappointment. That was when remember it was the big deal about the FPS or whatever it was, the frame rate.
Yeah, that was the narrative for that movie and that season. And you know, Ang Lee tried.
I love Ang Lee, and I love that he does try. And I thought Joe Allen's actually pretty good in the movie. He had he had almost too much chemistry with Kristen Stewart, if you'll remember. They're brother and sister, and it's a little too much chemistry, I would say, for brother and sister. But the movie itself was just not for me. And then I saw him again in The Favorite. That was the next time I've seen him in something, and he's hilarious in The Favorite, which is a fabulous movie, and I love it so much. And then this, I thought he was another flavor and a good.
Wow, you didn't see all 3 of his 2018 movies? Boy Erased and Mary Queen of Scots.
No,
wow.
I skipped all of those.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry to focus features.
Yeah, he had a hat trick in 2018, and then he was in Harriet, if you recall.
Yes, and then The Souvenir, I think too, right? Or Souvenir Part 2, maybe.
Yeah.
I like Joe Allen, so I have him in, but I don't know what to do with this category either. I mean, Nick Robinson from Maid is up there. Do you have him in?
I do, just because I needed to fill that 6th spot.
It's tough, right? Like OT Fagbenle has been out for First Lady, and We Crashed. I don't think he's going to get in for either. I would prefer the We Crash performance, but he obviously plays Obama, I think, on First Lady, so that probably would help. William H. Macy for The Dropout, looking like Peter Sarsgaard in Green Lantern with his head. He's got a big bald cap on. It's a good performance, but I don't think he's in it that much.
Yeah, I have Murray, Naveen. I have my guy Wyatt Russell.
So I was going to ask you about Wyatt Russell. I almost put him in. Make the case for him. I feel like he could get it.
Because he's great. I mean, we've talked about him before, right? Yeah. Like he's absolutely terrifying in it, but in like a charismatic way. Mm-hmm. He has some good stuff in the last 2 episodes too. Like I think he's the best of the brothers.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. So if the show were a lot stronger, you know, me, the person who has the show at number 1 as a placeholder, I would be a lot more confident in it. But like I think I'll just like hope dick him because it's a really great performance, and he's one of Daisy Edgar Jones's killers.
Yes,
not a spoiler, it's a real case. Speaking of Daisy, I would nominate her too when supporting.
Is she running supporting or lead though?
She's in supporting. I mean, it's a total. I mean, it's kind of like Tony, like they're supporting, but I think Tony is in the staircase more than Daisy is in Under the Banner of Heaven because she's missing in a whole episode,
right?
And then in another episode, you just see her for like half a second in a montage. Mm-hmm. But she's in the last 2. So yeah, so I guess I'll just hope dick Wyatt.
I think that's fair. I'll give you another person I almost wanted to put in. Wyatt was on the list. The other one was Jake Lacey for White Lotus. We talked a lot about.
Yeah, he and Alexander are my faves from the White Lotus. So
we talked a lot about obviously like the actresses, but he's so good and such a terrible person, I think, on the White Lotus.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't decide if like that will hurt him or not. Just
so there's not a lot of there's not a rooting factor there. You're not rooting for him because he's like
he's so good.
Yeah, he's like. He definitely was someone who, if was not at the January 6th insurrection, at least like probably favorited a tweet about it, you know, that kind of thing. That's the kind of guy he's playing. And I think he's so great on it. It's just a really fun against type performance. And I would love to see him get in. And I could see it, especially if White Lotus is still, like you said, like it could support 3 supporting actresses. it has a series nomination probably on lock. Maybe he does get in then. I don't know. I'm not predicting it, but I could see it happening.
Yeah, I don't have him in either. I have Peter Sarsgaard for Dopesick, and then I swapped my Stuhlbargs. So I have Stuhlbarg in for The Staircase. Now he plays Colin Firth's lawyer. So I think that's the better performance. So I have him in there. But I don't know who's getting in here. We're so helpful. We don't have
really
no
great. How about Tim McGraw for 1883?
So you have faith, but not Tim.
Well, I might put Tim in if I knock Joe Alwyn out, let's say.
Okay.
Are you convinced that Peter Sarsgaard will get in? He's second in the odds. And I don't believe it either. I just don't.
The only person I think is safe is Murray.
It's pretty nuts, right? I could see Seth Rogen getting in for sure, but who knows? Again, it's a weird performance because the character is not really a good guy, but I think the show is framed to its detriment at times from his perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I was not super as into it as I had wanted to be, I guess.
Remember last year when everyone thought like Bill Camp was like winning, or at least
didn't even get nominated.
So like who will be that? Will Murray be that this year?
No, I think it could be Peter Sarsgaard, because I don't really think a lot of people are talking about that performance. And while he's second in the odds and makes you think that he is going there, I'm going to take him out right now. I'm putting Tim McGraw in. Yeehaw. Wow. Is what they say on 1883, Joyce? I'm doing it.
I guess so. I don't know. You're going for the his and hers nominations.
I am. I'll tell you what. So I told you I have Matthew Good winning, and Murray Bartlett obviously is the favorite. He won a lot of critical acclaim.
He just won Critics' Choice. Yeah.
I think Naveen Andrews actually should win. I love him on The Dropout. Yeah. That character is so bad and evil, and he does a great job with it. And there's not a lot of rooting factor there, certainly for the character, but Naveen is awesome on the show. I just love him. And I love his work with Amanda is awesome. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Amanda, I think, is like probably, if not winning, like a strong favorite to win actress would help him as well, because so many of his scenes are with her, obviously.
Yeah, and they have such long scenes together too, like in the finale. So it's kind of, I guess it's kind of like Jean Smart and like Hannah Einbinder. I think it's like they just have so many two-handers together,
right? And
it's like they're like inextricably linked, so if you nominate one, you might just nominate the other, and he is really good.
That's why I almost was ready to put Hannah Einbinder in first in supporting actress, because this year I think she's great, and like we said, the Jean halo I think could lift her up, but we'll see. We're not doing comedy today, Joyce. No laughs allowed.
No laughs and limited, because we have no idea what's going on. There's the Gaslit dudes are good too. Dan Stevens and Shea Wiggum.
I know, but I just don't have that happening.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. Yeah. You have your guy Kyle Chandler for Super Pumped down
so
here.
I had him in at one point. Love him on the show, but I feel like the Super Pumped, the engine behind it is not really, it's revved up, let's say.
So you're gonna back We Crashed over Super Pump of the scam shows.
For sure. I think We Crashed and The Dropout are the two scammer shows that pop the most, and I think in different ways. And I think We Crashed, especially because of its famous people, no offense to Amanda Seyfried, at the top, makes it stand out most. And I think that actually has really done a good job. And the other thing I feel like with We Crashed is, even though it came out, I think in March and it finished up like last month, it has kind of, because it's on Apple TV, I think people have later found it somewhat similar to the way Coda existed for like 6 months before people are like, hey, Coda's on, I should watch it. I feel like We Crashed is a little bit like that too, that there's still a discovery of it happening.
Do you think for shows like that and like The Offer, if people are going there for something else, like Ted or I don't know, Severance or The Morning Show or Coda, and then they just see We Crash, so they'll check it out, or if they're going to Paramount Plus for 1883, not Yellowstone because that's on Peacock.
I actually think they would check it out, and I think
they'll watch The Offer which is not from the Taylor Sheridan universe.
I think they would. And I think the way these platforms at least promote it on my end with the algorithms and stuff, they do want to like elevate those. And if you see The Offer as like a Godfather thing, if you're watching 1883, the chances are you're going to be like, that's for me. I want to watch that. Let me check out this Offer show.
So make the case for your guy, Matthew Good.
So
he is very funny on it.
He's hilarious. First of all, it's an incredible impression of Robert Evans. I think he's entirely too tall for Robert Evans, probably, right? But
yeah, like, he's very lanky.
But I definitely in a million years would have not have said Matthew Good can play Robert Evans and do his voice. And he does it. It's an incredibly scene-stealing performance. He's hilarious. It's almost very surface level, I would say. There's not a lot of depth to it, I would argue, but it is so funny. And I think it's a character, it's like a big, loud performance. And I think on the show, if people watch it again, I'm basing it on like, it's a Hollywood show about Hollywood for Hollywood Awards. People are going to like that. I think if you're an older person who remembers Robert Evans or knows he exists, you would be like, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, he gets it really well. And it's just hilarious. He's just hilarious. It is incredible. Everything he does in the show, I think is really funny. And I think for a supporting performance, it really could stand out. I'm actually shocked he's not, like, I have him winning. Sure. Maybe he's not going to win.
I think the problem, or like why he's probably so low, is that it's on Paramount Plus, which is, not a, or like, formerly known as CBS All Access.
Right.
Has not historically been a huge Emmy player.
No.
He was on The Good Wife, and it's been off The Good Fight. It's never, like nothing for Christine Baranski, basically, for
right.
The Good Wife. And also the show got terrible reviews. So I think people are just low on it.
So it got terrible reviews, but people who watch it I think it's interesting to me because it's like, I don't know, I'm going to
look up the scores right now.
Even the terrible reviews, I think people are like, it's entertaining. Like all the reviews I read were like, it's not high art, but it is entertaining. It's not like,
right. I think that's the problem. Like if you go into it thinking it's like prestige high art, like if you go into thinking it's like Under the Banner of Heaven, like it is not.
No, but I would argue it's more entertaining than Under the Banner of Heaven, though. I enjoyed watching.
Oh no, I agree. Like they're just completely different shows.
So that's why I think he could support a nomination for him, because people are going to watch it and actually enjoy watching it. And then I think he's such a standout that he'll get in. That's basically my only take.
So it has a 49 on Metacritic.
Wow.
But the user score, are you ready? 8.8.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me see. Where's Rotten Tomatoes?
It's the people's choice, Joyce.
Rotten Tomatoes. Roddy Tease, as Darcy Carden says on My Favorite Show, Barry. The Offer. And then this is riveting. It has a 49%. Wow, look at that symmetry there. 49 score on Metacritic and a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's rotten. It has the green splat. But audience score, 95%.
I'm telling you, the people who watch it love it. So that's going to help. I think that'll help him. Joyce, we're going to wrap up here, but I'm going to filibuster about Stranger Things.
Go ahead.
I love Stranger Things. I think season 4 is amazing. And I actually watching it, I was thinking today, it could end up, because of its tech stuff, it could end up with the most nominations of any show, I would say, this year. So what do you don't like that? You seem like
well, I have it in series, and I
have it in series, and I actually moved some actors in since we last spoke.
Oh, okay. Who did you move in?
So, well, first let's just say I moved in David Harbour and Millie Bobby Brown in supporting for both. So broadly, one of the things, the critical consensus groupthink is that it's too long, and I would say it's not. I think and this is somebody, I fall asleep watching everything. I cannot focus on most things. I just read my phone or whatever. This show, I am fully engaged. The way it's paced, I just think my take on the show in general is season 1 was totally fine. I enjoyed it. It was good. Season 2, I thought was a step back. It was way more of the same and kind of just very repetitive. And season 3, I felt was like a leap because they figured out the pacing of it really well. And what they did in season 3 was kind of very Lost-like and very Lord of the Rings-like, where it's like, we're going to have 3 separate plots and just cut between them. And it's going to take place over the span of like a couple of days. And this season, they're doing the exact same thing, and they've lengthened the episodes. But because it's so well made, they never hang out with one of the scenes too long. And you're kind of just jumping between the broad, like, not spoilers here, but whatever. There's like, it takes place in Hawkins, Indiana. I know you're not the biggest Stranger Things fan, Joyce. So they takes place in Indiana. That's their main little town.
I've seen enough of it to know that it takes place in Hawkins, Indiana.
So it takes place in Hawkins, Indiana, one spot. Picks up from where the last season ended. So Mike, or excuse me, 11 and Joyce. There's a Joyce on the show too, which I thought.
I know that. I was very excited. Like 6 years ago?
Yeah. Well, now that's like, this is a great time for Joyces, because we
obviously have. It's the year of Joyces. Really.
Year of Joyces. And then we have, so there's a part in California, and then Hopper, who is David Harbour, is in a Russian prison. They kept him alive. They kind of retcon, like how they bring him back and stuff. Sure, it kind of robs the stakes of the 3rd season, but sure, it's fine. Anyway, they just cut between everything incredibly well. I thought the sound, like, this is going to sound, again, like I tweeted this yesterday. It's definitely like it's like, I love the Titanic cinematography, Joyce, but the sound design on Stranger Things is amazing.
Was the cinematography.
The cinematography is great. The sound design is unbelievable. I think everything, the way it used, not just to like creep you out, but like a lot of like, they really hit sounds for like comedy purposes, I feel like, or like just like to edit between things. It's very fun. I love the score. I think is a level up from the previous seasons. I could see it getting in there. Cinematography for sure. Directing, there's a lot of cool set pieces. Sean Levy directs a couple of episodes, obviously the Duffers, and then like Nimrod Antel, who is a filmmaker who's done a lot of I think horror movies. Let me see. Like he's he did Vacancy, a classic horror movie. Just like a lot of Predators was another one for him. A lot of cool action scenes in this and that. And then the actors it's tough because it is a big ensemble and there's not like a lot to do. But I would say both Millie Bobby Brown and David Harbour get incredibly compelling like monologues and scenes. And I think they're going to get in. David Harbour, I think, is so good. He's not on it enough. And like I said, like they've kind of got his character separate off into a Russian prison camp. But no, he's so good. I just think he's great. And the first 7 episodes are awesome. And they're longer than Belfast, and but they feel a lot shorter, I would say. So that's my little filibuster on Stranger Things.
You know, when I said I like short movies, I like 90-minute movies, that was not an invitation for all shows to make 90-minute episodes. Because I still want like my 30-minute episodes and like 45 tops really for a drama.
So wait until the season volume 2 of Stranger Things, Joyce, when
I know it's like over 2.5.
The finale is 2.5 hours. So can't wait for that. But I actually can't, because I can't wait to see what happens. I'm so excited. I'm a big Stranger Things fan. It's not Succession. It's not going to take my beloved Succession from me. But it's really good. And I definitely think it's going to get in for series. I just think because the tech stuff is so big.
It's shocking that like you didn't have it in series. Like once it was confirmed that it will make eligibility, I immediately put it in.
I'll tell you why I didn't have it in, just because I was like, well, I enjoyed the 3rd season a lot. And it was my favorite season going in. It's been such a long time. And I just, like I said about other shows, like I just feel like, do people care or remember about the older shows coming back after like 3 years? But the reason is because of the tech. I just think they made a big deal. I've seen people make a big deal. Like, I think they spent like $30 million an episode for this season, or that was the report for Stranger Things. And I think a big thing you'd say about Netflix shows and Marvel shows, like we've talked about, everything looks kind of cheap now, right? Like, or just like not as expensive as it once was. And Stranger Things, I'm just like, every cent is like, it really looks good. Like they spent a lot of money on this and it looks great. And I think all the crap stuff is going to propel it to series. That's why I don't think it's going to win.
It made series last time without any other above the line nomination.
Right.
Because it was like carried by crap. So I always thought it could still get in. And I think it's still one of the shows, even though it's been gone for a couple years. And like everyone in the cast is like 45 now. Like
that's an issue. Not going to lie.
Yeah. Like it's still hugely popular and watched. You know, like I think people are excited for it. So yeah, I have it in series. I don't have any other above the line nomination.
I'll give you a person who I would love to have gotten in, but I just don't think I don't think it could support two actors. And I don't think this actress has like enough of a, credentials or track record to get in, but Sadie Sink is in it. Obviously she plays Max, and is amazing. Like she is absolutely the standout other than like the David Harbour, Millie Bobby Browns, like, and they give her a lot to do this season and she's wonderful, but I just don't think she would get in supporting because the category is too crowded and it's like she is not known maybe.
Listen, she'll get her Oscar nomination for The Whale.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year for Sadie Sink. She's so good.
But also remember back in season 2 when everyone like was like, oh, Noah Schnapp is gonna get nominated, or we're pulling hard for him, and they didn't go for him.
Yeah, I don't think it could support any really beyond, and I don't even know if David Harbour or Millie Bobby Brown can get in. I think I have them both in 8th place in my picks because I'm not convinced that it can support above the line acting nominations, but I do think they're both really good in the new season, so that's why I put them in. That's it. That's all I got for Stranger Things, Joyce.
I mean, it's just, I guess it depends on like how hard they go for new shows versus how much they go back in the wall for old shows.
Right. And we will not know until we know.
I don't know. And then maybe if they go hard for older shows, people or networks will reevaluate their release strategies.
Would be nice.
Backload everything in the spring.
Would be nice. Joyce, I think that's it. We're going to wrap up here, but we'll talk again next week, I guess. And soon we're going to bring back our Oscars playback by popular demand.
I know, but one person.
One person tweeting at us. Thank you for that tweet. That made our day. But Joyce, I'll talk to you later.